So let me pick your brain here. We have a 30-year-old guy living in mama's basement, working fast food, no real respect, no body on him. He wants to command the room. He wants a loving relationship. What do you advise this individual?
You know, we got to break things down. If you're working fast food or you're not having done much with your life academically, let's say you're in a spot where, and if you're living at home at that age, in today's world, you have an opportunity to really get ahead. You want to move on. You're understanding you want more in life, but how do you get there without providing more? To provide more, number one, you're working your 9 to 5. So there's your 40 hours a week. That could be covering your bills. Let's say you're helping a mom. Your mom and dad might be saying, you know, you're a little bit older in age. You got to help out with your household expenses too. We don't want you freeloading. That's fine. So you're helping with the household expenses, and you're doing whatever you're doing with that money. But you want to make more for yourself. You need to be saving more. Sometimes savings doesn't get you there. Here's where it comes in. You know, from my time when I was working at my parents' store, that was as a family business. But I was working my 9 to 5, which was my 40 hours at my white collar job as an accountant. Now I'm helping mom and dad on the weekend at their business, but I'm not getting paid for that time.
Right.
But I saw a lot of customers that would come in, and they would always say, well, I want to make more money. I want to do this. I want to do that. But they wouldn't take that functional step. And I asked a handful of people, why don't you pick up a second job? And that was like sacrilege to people. You could see it in their eyes, the fear that they would have over having to work more. Now you got this young chap living at home, nothing's working for him in life. My advice to a young person or anyone is take a pivot back. If you got to move in with a family member, or let's say you don't have a family member, but you can rent out a space or whatever, bring in some extra income here. If you got to work more, that's where I look at it, 41 to 55 hours a week. That's anywhere between 1 to 2 extra shifts. So what are you doing Saturday, Sunday, or working more during your Monday to Friday? Whatever you're doing, work more hours. People will always talk about, I'm all about the grind, I'm all about working hard, I want to do this, X, Y, and Z. But when push comes to shove, I did, in the end, my white collar job and blue collar job at my parents' store for 15 years. 2 jobs. 55 at a minimum.
Yeah.
I worked those shifts. I've had people call me out and say, we don't believe you. I was there every Saturday, Sunday. I had my colleagues visit me just to say, hey, what's up? They'd see my car parked there. They knew I was at mom and dad's store.
Yeah.
That's not a lie. I did those shifts. Now, that was unpaid because that's for family. But let's say you're someone who's trying to get ahead in life to make that transition. That's the money you're using. How we've talked in earlier videos about putting money into stocks. Let's say you're a young person, you realize we've had other videos talking about habits. Well, now I want to have good habits. Now I want to put money into stocks for my future. I realize maybe if I'm anywhere between north of 25 and I've made mistakes because I had the comfort of being at home, but I've blown that years of buffer where I could have saved the money. But now I'm going to work more. Well, the food will be covered. All you got to do at that stage is just wake up in the morning, go to work, eat, sleep, and repeat.
Live like a robot.
Like a robot. We've talked about consistency. You know, for me, in my experience, one thing I've learned is working the hours is not the hard part. I was working minimum 55 hours. There was times where I'd be finishing my shift at my accounting job and then coming to work at mom and dad's store because they needed maybe something came up. There was a family function, health matter, whatever. So I'd be up at 5 a.m. to go to my 5:30 go to my regular job. Then I'd be at my parents' store at 4:35. Then I'd be closing. Then I got to be at my normal job. Now this doesn't happen all the time, but on the days it happened, you got to be mentally prepped. I was still okay. The days and my week still went on the way it should be. That extra time, your body can mentally handle it. We've talked in other videos about habits.
Yeah.
Now, if you have to have your alcohol, you have to go gambling, you have to have your bad habit, that 41 to 55 in your brain doesn't function. In my case, I had a food addiction. So what did I do after I'd work any hours? I'd go right to my favorite fast food joint or a restaurant. That's where my time came tight. That's where I used to be like, oh, I can't complete this for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the excuses came.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the days when I was always on point and I was doing well, 55 hours a week, 60 hours a week, that wasn't that hard. You come home, you relax for about an hour, hour and a half, just to give your body a break. It's still 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's true.
It's still 7 o'clock. I can still go to the gym. I can still read a book. I can still do this and that. What you learn is that your body just needs rest.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a job where you use your mind a lot, you need a quick nap.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can do it. It's what really hurts us is that we don't have access to that time for our bad habit.
Mm.
That's where we get upset. That's where we say, you're ruining my life. You're taking my enjoyment away.
Because 41 to 55 is when the boys get drunk, watch the football game.
I had my customer buddies at the store because I was always working. And one time I was complaining to one of my customer buddies. And I said to him, I'm like, I've never experienced partying with my buddies because I'm always here on Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And
you're going on Friday night. And if you're going on Saturday, well, I'm here Sunday too.
Mm-hmm.
And one time, one of my customer buddies says to me, and he was a couple years older than me, so this was like, in my early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And he just looked at me and he says to me, "What did you miss?
Mm-hmm.
You missed getting drunk? You missed getting a hangover the next night? You missed getting all your money taken from you because you thought you were going to impress a girl?
Mm-hmm.
Did she sleep with you?" And he was a guy he was an uppercase G. He got women. He says, "If they didn't take my money, I don't know what's going to happen." He says, "What did you miss? You missed having a crappy Sunday or a crappy Saturday morning.
Right.
So what did you miss?"
Mm-hmm.
He says, you're standing here taking care of not only your family business, but helping your mom and dad. You've built that goodwill. You've got these great habits. You handle yourself well. What did you miss?"
Yeah.
And then I actually took a step back because I'm standing behind the till as he's saying this to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, in my mind, I think I missed something.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, I missed nothing. There was an English boxer in the 1990s by the name of, his nickname was Prince Nassim Hamed.
Yeah.
And he was a fireball.
Yeah.
You had Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. on this side of the ocean, and he fought out of England.
Mm-hmm.
And you had him on that side of the ocean. And he burst on the scene between 17 to 21.
Mm-hmm.
He retired from professional boxing at 28. At the age of 28. And I saw a video documentary on him. And in that video, he had that gas station moment I had when he said in that video, "I've missed partying. I've missed going out. I've missed these amazing experiences that my entourage, which was his family members, enjoyed."
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that video. And I had a similar behind the till comment in my case.
Right.
What did he miss in hindsight?
Nothing.
He's 50 years old now.
Yeah.
That money has taken care of him for 22 years.
Yeah.
He's never going to have to work in his life. He lost nothing.
Yeah.
He took care of himself financially.
Yeah.
So when people say, I can't work 41, more than 40 hours a week,
mm-hmm.
my only response is, what are you really missing? And that's what we're trying to talk to you guys about. If that bad habit is that important to you, what we're saying isn't going to comprehend up here. It's when you let go of that bad habit where what we say makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look at 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week and say, what do I care? I'm going to go home. I'm going to have a nice home-cooked meal, whether you're making it or let's say you're living with your family members or you're married. You're going to have a more calm home because I don't have to come home and rush to my bad habit.
Yeah. Wonderful. You just blew my socks out of the water, man. Wow. Please like, comment, subscribe. Refer us to a friend who needs us. We'll see you guys next time.
God bless, guys.
Peace. God bless.